Hello, my name is Kevin Molina. I am with John Stevenson Plumbing, Heating, and Air, and you are watching Charlie's How To for Homeowners. Today we'll be replacing an emergency stop, also known as an angle stop. So first step and most important step, we please need to make sure that water is turned off to the whole home in order to actually go through with the project. If you do not feel comfortable or if you do not know where the shut off to the home is, please contact a professional plumber so that they can actually assist you or replace the emergency stop for you. Here we have an emergency stop. Right now, the emergency stop is in opposition. What the emergency stop does, it allows water to come into whatever water fixture it is that we're working on. So today we are working on the toilet. Right now, my emergency stop is in opposition. When I turn my emergency stop on, you will hear water flowing into your toilet. So whenever ready to begin a project, you want to make sure that you have the proper tools. In my hands, I have tools in order to be able to complete my task properly. I have my one tool to be able to latch on to my emergency stop when needed. I have my second one to be able to connect to the top part in order to make my job a lot easier when either removing or installing the emergency stop. I have my ferrule blaster that is going to remove the ring that's inside of this emergency stop. And I also have my Chinese in order to remove any supply lines or anything that I might need to remove. And you can't forget your pipe dope or joint compound whenever installing the emergency stop. And also don't forget, most important, your new angle stop. Like I said before, the most important step before beginning this project is to turn off water to the home. Here I have my shut off to make sure that it's all the way in the off position. And before I bleed out the house or before I open any fixtures in the home, open up a hose bib or any hose bibs outside of the home and make sure that we begin to bleed out the home that way. So now that we've ensured that all water is off to the house and then we bled everything out, we begin by removing the supply line. Get your small pair of channies or channel locks, remove your supply line. Now you get your tools to remove your emergency stop. Tying up over here to make sure that we get a good amount of leverage. Go back here. Now with good leverage, we remove the emergency stop. Now that you have removed the emergency stop, you get your ferrule blaster, push this, pull this all the way back. Make sure that we are fully inserted all the way to the nut so that we can get that compression ring out. And then we just pull. We just pull until everything comes out. So now that compression that has been removed and angle stop is removed, we go on and we're gonna clean the pipe. So you get a little bit of sandcloth paper, clean everything out, make sure that whenever installing the new angle stop, you have a nice clean surface. Now that it's nice and clean, just clean it off a little bit more with the rag, and then you get your new emergency stop. Before doing anything, make sure you remove everything so that you can add pipe dope to the back part of it. Get our pipe dope, joint compound. Make sure that we clean up our floor, make sure our floor stays nice and clean. And then you don't necessarily have to overdo it with this. Just put a little bit on. Like I said, make sure you do everything over your rag so that everything stays nice and clean. everything back on, make sure it's nice and straight. So that everything's nice and straight, we can put it back onto the pipe. So now to tighten up the emergency stop, pretty much doing everything, the same process all over again, but this time we're just gonna tighten everything up. Make sure it's all the way in before you begin to tighten up. And now, just tighten. Yep, this thing is not going away. All right, now that you have ensured that your emergency stop is nice and tight, take everything off. And remember to always turn off the emergency stop. So remember, when turning on water back into the home, you want to do it slowly. Make sure you do it a quarter turn at a time. And when you've done that, now you can go back into the home and make sure that there's no leaks on the new emergency stop. When you've ensured that there's no leaks on your new emergency stop, you can add full pressure back onto the home so you can make sure that everything is in functioning order. Now that we have turned water back into the home and nothing is leaking, we can install our new supply line. So again, hand tight. Then you get your channel locks, tighten them up, not too tight, but tight enough to ensure that there are no leaks. Everything's nice and tight. Now that your supply line is tight on the bottom, let's make sure that we are tightening up our supply line on our toilet that we are working on. So tighten up. When it's nice and tight with your hands, just get your channel locks and just hand tighten one little bit, not too much. And after that is done, now we can turn our emergency stop on and begin to fill up our toilets. All right, and thank you for watching Charlie's How-To for Homeowners. Hopefully you learned how to replace an emergency stop, or also known as an angle stop. I don't even know the names of these things.
Call it an angle stop.
And that concludes. Right.
Hey, keep it down.
Just came and riled everybody up.